Okay, welcome back to part 2 now of Smart Property Designs Limited. Okay, so having entered the opening balance, as you'll recall, we entered the opening balance here, the opening balancing journal. We're actually requested to print an opening trial balance for April 2013. So let's do that. Now what we'll need to do is we'll need to go into financials. Now over here on the shortcut links you may see the financial link. Again, remember you can move this up and down. Or you can go to modules, and in the 2012 version you should see financials separately listed. So if we go into financials, you'll see here on the top toolbar we have a trial balance button. Okay, so if we select trial balance, make sure that you are on the preview selection. Okay, so just make sure you've got the preview option selected. Okay, because we don't want to actually print out anything, we're going to preview it first, and then we're going to print it as a PDF document. Okay, so if I just select Run, okay, you'll notice that this screen comes up with criteria values. Now what criteria values mean is it's basically asking you to enter the options for the report for the trial balance, and that's in this case the date. Now we're asked to run a trial balance for April 2013, so just scrolling up and down, find the month April 2013 and select that month. Okay, once you've selected the month, now you'll note there it says month 1. As I said, we had our we're setting up our financial year, which starts on the 1st of April 2013. So April will be our month 1 for our financial year, May will be month 2, June will be month 3, all the way down to the end of our financial year, which will end on the 31st of March 2014. You'll see that's month 12. Okay, but we're running a trial balance for month 1, April 2013. Okay, so once you've selected the correct date, you can select OK. Okay, and now we have our trial balance, Smart Property Designs Limited period trial balance. We have the date here at the top. Okay, we have the date here at the top in which it was run, so the date it was run, the time it was run. Here we have the period. Okay, we're actually running it for April 2013. You'll notice on the left we have our nominal code, our nominal codes for each category. Okay, and then effectively our debit and credit columns. Okay, as before. So this is our opening trial balance. Okay, so we might want to keep that for our records. So if you'll see, you should see a print option up here on the top. Okay. Now if we select print, what should happen is the screen for the print to select the printer should come up. Now you don't want to actually print this out. What we're going to do is we're going to PDF it. So again, using just the drop down arrow to the right, you should be able to find something called Qt PDF. Okay, so you just select the Qt PDF writer. Okay, we're just going to convert it to a PDF and just say OK. Okay, you will then be given the option to save it. So if you just save it to your memory stick or possibly on your desktop. Okay. Right, okay, so you may have noticed as well some of these transactions here. Of course, these are the transactions that you've just entered. So this is our audit trail. You might remember that from the first exercise bandstand that we did. Okay, so here we've got effectively the transactions that we've just entered, the opening balances. Okay, so now let's go to task 3, and we'll just continue with that. So we're now asked to amend the nominal codes. Okay, now we've done that before, so I'll just go through it on the screen and you can just do it with me. Again, remember you'll need to go into nominal ledger. So from modules, okay, and now just to amend, well, we're just going to amend the record. So if you select record on the toolbar of the nominal ledger, and then remember the cursor will default to the nominal code box, and we can just type in the nominal code that we want to amend. Okay, so once you've entered those nominal codes, and again we can see on the drop down menu that they've actually been changed and adjusted. We have residential project design, commercial project design, and maintenance and modernising. Okay, we're then asked to print out a nominal list of nominal codes. Okay, so the list is effectively a report, so it's going to be a nominal ledger report we're going to print out. So make sure you are in the nominal ledger, and then just go to reports. Okay, it will be a button on the nominal ledger toolbar. So if we select reports, we then get the screen with all the nominal reports that we can run. Now you'll notice there's a little plus sign next to some of the folders. Okay, so that plus sign indicates that there are more reports within these folders. Okay, now to run the nominal list, we want to go into the nominal details report. Okay, so you should see a folder called nominal details. Okay, so if I just select that, and here we have nominal list, so that's the report we want to run. Okay, now the criteria values comes up again. It's asking for what values do you want to enter for your report. Okay, so we're going to run it for all. Actually, no, what we want to do is customize it. So we don't want to run this report for all the nominal codes. You'll see there's quite a lot there. We just want to run it for the nominal codes we've amended. Okay, so if we enter 4000, okay, which was the first one that we amended, and just to 4002. Okay, so we're just going to amend, we're just going to customize the report for the nominal codes that we want. Okay, so we're entering 4000 and 4002. And then we select OK. And you'll note here the report has now listed. So we can just check again that those nominal codes have been amended correctly and possibly keep that on file. Okay, we're just going to close that down for now. Okay, the next part of the question asks us to enter budgets for the following nominal codes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to enter a budget for each of these nominal codes, which effectively are our sales categories. So we're selling sort of various services: residential project design, commercial project design, maintenance and modernising. So we're now going to sort of try and estimate, what are our sales going to be? What are our sales revenues going to be from these various services that we're offering? So we've estimated that we're going to sell probably all the revenue from residential project design is going to be 850,000. The revenue that we're going to generate from commercial project design is going to be 1.5 million, and the revenue from maintenance and modernising sort of properties is going to be 650,000. So we're going to enter that in to Sage, so that then when we run our reports later, we can compare the actual revenue we've earned on each of these services with what our estimates or our budget was. Okay, so if we go back to Sage, and again we can just go into Record. Okay, and now we just want to select the nominal code we're going to enter the budget for. So the first one is residential project design, and we can just simply, if we go to the budget column, you'll see here, if we go to the bottom to total and just enter the total budget for the year, which was 850,000. Okay, now if we just select enter, it will come up with this message: you have entered a total budget value. The program will distribute this total evenly across the individual monthly budgets. Okay, so that's fine. That's all we want to do for this exercise. We're just going to say yes. So we've just set a budget for the year. Okay, and then what will happen is as we start to input data and revenue, as we start to make sales, the actual revenue will be entered into these cells, and then we can compare the actual total with the budgeted total. Okay, so just make sure you save that. So we're just going to save. And then we can go to the next nominal code and enter the budget for commercial project design. Okay, moving on to task 4, we now need to set up customer accounts. Okay, so far we've been setting up customer accounts through the new button. Okay, so let's just go to customers. Remember, customers can be accessed either on the left, or we can go to modules on the drop down menu and access the customer ledger that way. Now what we've been doing is we've been going to new and then coming into the wizard and basically setting up our customer accounts via the customer record wizard. Okay, today I'm going to show you another way to set up a customer account. So I'm just going to close that down. And we're going to go to record. Right. So this time Sage isn't going to feed you through different screens, just going next and then prompting you to enter a certain data. You're going to need to select the screens via these various tabs yourself. Now the main tabs we're going to use to enter the data for the customer is going to be details, defaults, and credit control. So it's just those three. So if you're going to set up a customer through record, through the customer record, you need to remember, first of all, enter the details into the details tab, but then go to defaults, okay, just to check your tax code and if you need to enter a particular nominal code, but normally it'd be fine just to leave it as the default. And credit control will need to go in there as well to enter any credit limit. Also remember to tick the terms agreed and enter the date that the account was opened. Okay, so if we look at our first customer account we need to enter, it's going to be Howard and Green Limited. Okay, we have their address, and actually we're going to set the nominal code to default 4001 because in this instance we're not selling lots of different items or lots of different services to the same customer. We're actually just selling one service to this particular customer. So Howard and Green always are going to be purchasing the commercial design service from us. So we can actually enter the nominal code 4001, and that will just sort of speed things up when we're entering sales invoices. When we start batch posting sales invoices, the nominal code 4001 will be the default nominal code that comes up. So we'll see that as we start processing invoices later on. Okay, so for now, if we just enter the account reference, okay, which is HOW001. Remember, Sage recommends that account references should always be alphanumeric for customers and suppliers. And the company name is Howard and Green. Okay, then just enter the address. Right, okay, we don't have a contact name at the moment, so again these details can always be amended just by going back into the record tab and selecting the appropriate tab, and then you can sort of change the details. So let's go into defaults. Okay, the tax code is 20%, that's fine. We're charging 20% VAT on our sales as we're VAT registered. Now the default nominal code. Now if we were selling lots of different items, obviously to this customer, we would just leave that and amend it when we come to batch posting our invoices. But as I said, we're only actually selling one service to this customer, so we can amend that to 4001, so it will always default to 4001, which will save us re-entering it each time. If I go to credit control, okay, we don't have any credit limits at the moment, but the account was opened at the beginning of the financial year, which is 01/04/13. Okay, and just remember to tick terms agreed, okay, and then one last check, okay, that everything's okay, and then save. Okay. Now you'll see that the customer has been set up in the customer ledger. So now if you just like to enter the remainder of the customer accounts, we will then move on to setting up supplier accounts. Okay, we can see now that our accounts have been set up. So now we're just going to move on to the second part of the question and set up our supplier accounts. Okay, so you'll need to go to the supplier ledger. Again, that can be accessed on the left, from the left toolbar. And you might just need to change the view. Or you can go to modules and select the supplier ledger from there. Alright, so again we're going to set up through the record option. We have been using the wizard by selecting new and using the Sage supplier record wizard. Okay, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to use the record to set up the new customer. So again, we do it in exactly the same way that we set up the customer accounts. We just need to use these three tabs: Details, Defaults and Credit Control. Okay, so if we just start with the first one, which is HFC Hardwood Store. Okay. Now if you'd just like to enter and create those supplier accounts. Okay, you can see now that we have our suppliers set up within our supplier ledger. Okay, now if we just take another look at the question, we're asked to print some more reports. Okay, so okay, now we're asked to print a customer address list. So again, this is going to be a report. So if we go back to customers, customer ledger, and select reports. Now if you can't see the report button actually on your customer toolbar, it might be that your toolbar is a little bit too short, but what you should see is two little black arrows just at the top. Now if you select the black arrows, it will then give you a drop down menu and you should be able to see reports there. Okay, so we select reports, and now again here are all the customer reports that we can run. Got an age debtors report that we'll be doing later up there, but we actually want the details report because we're going to do a customer address list. So there we go, we've got customer details here. So if I just click a plus, okay, and there we go, we have our customer address list. Just select that. Okay, again now it will ask what criteria do we want to run the report on. Okay, so again, if we click on these arrows here, it effectively will show us all the customers. Now, we only really want to run the report for the customers that we've entered, okay, which is fine. If we wanted to run, say, an address list for just one customer, we could select just one customer. For example, I could go down and select Howard and Green here and say and Howard and Green, and then it would run the report just for that one customer. We're going to run the report for all our customers, so just make sure you've got from the beginning. Okay, we're going to start off with Croft, and we're going to go all the way down to Seafair Stores. So we want to run the report for all our customers. I'm going to say OK. Okay, and now here we have our customer list, okay, of the addresses, if for any reason you required that. So we're now going to just print that as a PDF, as I showed you before, okay, and save it to your desktop. So I'm just going to close that down, and in the same way we're now going to run an address list for our suppliers. So again, if you go into suppliers, select reports, and again now look for the supplier details reports. So if we click down and then just select supplier address list, you can now select the criteria for the report, okay, which we're going to run it for all our suppliers. So that's going to be from British Telecom to Viking Stationery, and then just select OK. Okay, and that will give us our supplier address list, which you can then just PDF and save.